We hear terms like cloud computing and on-premises thrown around constantly in the tech world. But honestly, to truly wrap our heads around what these data hosting options actually mean, we don't need all that heavy technical jargon. We really just need to look at something we all deal with every single day, our morning commute. Okay, picture this. You've just landed a fantastic new job, right? And you've moved to a brand new city. You've rented a great room, you're getting all settled in, but there's a catch. Your new office is a little far from your apartment. You're definitely going to need a convenient, maybe even slightly stylish way to commute to work every day. You want to show a little bit of status, right? So the big question staring you right in the face is, how exactly are you going to get to the office?
Well, when you really think about it, you basically have three real-world choices for this daily trek. Option 1, you just bite the bullet and buy a brand new car in your own name. Option 2, you use a service like Zoomcar or Zipcar and rent a car for the month. Or option 3, you simply pull out your phone every morning and book an Uber or an Ola.
Now, why are we talking about cars? Well, let's dive into this, because believe it or not, these three everyday travel choices, they are the exact same choices major organizations face when they're deciding where to host their databases, their emails, and their web servers. It's actually amazing how your morning commute directly mirrors the three main pillars of IT infrastructure. All right, first up, buying that brand new car. In the tech world, this is the direct equivalent of on-premises hosting. Think about it. When you buy a car, you are the absolute owner. You make that massive upfront payment and the car is parked right there at your place. For business, this means they're buying physical servers and keeping them literally inside their own physical office building. They own the hardware, they manage every single cable, and yep, they handle all the maintenance themselves. But what if you don't want to buy, but you still want a vehicle waiting just for you? That's option 2, renting a car from Zoomcar for the month. And this brilliantly captures dedicated hosting. You don't actually own the server, right? But you do rent it exclusively for your own use from a third-party provider. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. Just like that rented Zoom car, you still have to put the gas in, check the tires, and keep up with its daily maintenance. You're the one managing that dedicated resource. And finally, we've got option 3, booking that daily Uber or Ola. And this is exactly how cloud computing works. With a rideshare app, you literally have zero maintenance. You aren't worrying about flat tires or paying for insurance. You just use the shared resource that's distributed all across the city exactly when you need it, and then you leave. Cloud computing is the exact same concept. It's shared server and storage resources distributed across the internet that you simply tap into right on demand.
The whole beauty of the cloud really boils down to one incredibly relatable idea from our source material. Get in the car, get out, okay, ta-da, bye-bye. I just love that phrasing because it hits the nail right on the head. You open the app, get exactly what you need, and the second you step out, you are completely free from any commitment or responsibility for that vehicle. You're sharing it with others, sure, but you only care about your specific trip. So let's talk money because it's fascinating how the financial sidelines line up with our analogy here. Think about the massive upfront cost of buying your own car. You got to figure out interest rates, secure a loan, put down a huge initial payment before you can even turn the key. That's on-premises. Dedicated hosting, that sits at a medium upfront cost. But the cloud, practically zero initial cost. You literally just download the app and pay for the ride. Let's actually break those running costs down just a bit further. Say you go with a dedicated rental car. You're paying a fixed monthly fee, right? Even if you only travel to the office 20 days a month and the car just sits parked for the other 10 days, you are still paying for it to just sit there. But with the cloud, going back to our Uber analogy, you pay strictly per use. If you only need to commute 2 days a week, you only pay for those 2 days. Simple as that. But look, there's always a trade-off, isn't there? If cost is the cloud's absolute biggest advantage, well, control is definitely its biggest sacrifice. It's a classic battle of absolute control versus zero visibility. With your own car or on-premises hosting, you have total, absolute freedom. But with the cloud, think about using a free webmail account. You just get a login. You have absolutely no idea where that data physically lives or what giant server farm it's actually sitting in. Now, dedicated servers kind of sit right in the middle of all this. They give you a really high level of control, but with distinct boundaries set by the provider. Think of it like taking a rental car on vacation to Goa. You can drive it anywhere you want within the state, sure, but your rental agreement specifically says you absolutely cannot cross state lines. Dedicated hosting is just like that. It gives you a whole server to control, but at the end of the day, you still have to play by the hardware provider's ultimate rules. Okay, Next up is scalability. And really, this just means how fast you can grow. In this arena, the cloud provides incredibly high scalability. Giants like AWS act instantly. If you need 2 gigabytes today and, say, 2 petabytes tomorrow, you just hit a button, pay the fee, and boom, it's yours instantly. Dedicated hosting is more medium. You'd have to physically go out and rent another server, which obviously takes time. And on-premises, very low. You'd need major capital approval and physical real estate just to add one single new server. So, bringing it all together, the entire technical showdown really boils down to a simple trade-off. As you move from on-premises over to the cloud, you're essentially trading control for scalability. On-premises gives you the absolute highest control, but the absolute lowest scalability. The cloud completely flips that: lowest control, highest scalability. And dedicated hosting? It neatly splits the difference right down the middle. So who actually uses what in the real world? Let's talk about major financial institutions and banks. For these guys, data is absolutely critical. I mean, if even one single bit of data is moved incorrectly or gets stolen, it's a complete disaster. Because of this, they rarely rely purely on the cloud. They demand extreme security, which means keeping their data completely on premises. They want to own the building, they want to own the servers, and they literally want to hold the physical keys to the front doors. On the flip side, look at modern startups and flexible tech companies. For them, having absolute fortress-like physical security isn't usually the primary barrier. It's all about speed and scale. Because they need to grow incredibly fast, and honestly, they can't afford massive upfront infrastructure costs. The flexibility and pay-as-you-go nature of the cloud, or sometimes dedicated hosting, well, it makes it the undeniable clear winner for how they operate. So, what's the big takeaway from all this? The crucial point here is that there really is no single best option in IT. There's only the best option for your specific needs. It all boils right down to one fundamental choice: convenience versus security. Are you a bank that absolutely needs to own the physical car? Or are you a dynamic startup that's perfectly happy just catching an Uber? I'll leave you to reflect on this one final question as our world gets more digital by the second. Convenience or security? Where will you keep your data? Thanks for exploring this explainer with me, and keep learning.